from Financial Peace Plaza, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, and this is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. It's a free call. The phone number is 888-825-5225, or you can go online at daveramsey.com, click on Dave's email. Keep your emails brief and to the point, and we'll do our best to answer them as a part of the show today. Starting this hour off is John in Los Angeles. Hi, John. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Bear with me. I'm a little nervous.
That's okay.
My youngest child passed away a little over a year ago.
Oh, my goodness. How old?
He was 15.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. What happened?
Cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I would like to give away a substantial amount of money, and I'm really not sure how to. That the hospital would like just a one-time gift, but I'm uncomfortable with that. What I would like, the objective, would be to set something up that gives every year, and something I could add to where it could give more in 5 years than today and more in 10 years, and I did it in 5 years. And eventually pass it on to my daughter, and she could continue to give. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not sure how to set that up. Mm-hmm. I also I like giving to the children. This is very important. It's a forgotten ministry. These kids are abandoned by their friends and even their family, and even it seems by God. And they're literally locked up because of their low immune system in a sterilized environment. And they need things like computer games, movies. It seems insignificant, but it's huge to them to take their mind off what's happening and give them a little bit of fun or joy in the midst of this horrible darkness. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to incorporate that into whatever I set up, because it's a very personal and intimate giving that's not given through. I don't give it to the hospital. It's given to the children and the families. So I'd like that.
And how much money are you going to fund this with initially?
Well, initially, it's 3 homes I own that I want to rent out. I could get about $2,500 a month, possibly $3,000 for each home, mm-hmm. which would put me in the neighborhood of $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I want the bulk of it. I want to fund GBH, which is a cancer-related illness. Mm-hmm. And if this particular hospital reduces its research, mm-hmm. in this, I'd like to be able to take those funds and put it where the research is really blossoming. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've got 2 routes you can go, and you need to see an estate planning type attorney. Okay. To structure these. One route you could go is you could form a nonprofit, a 501c3. And you can do that. Whatever you do needs to be a 501c3, but you could just form a nonprofit organization that the mission of it is to simply give. And, give to cancer-related things and so on. Then the other direction you could go, in addition to, rather than forming a nonprofit corporation, which is what, basically you'd be doing, is forming a corporation, and then you'd be funding it yourself. And others could give, but you wouldn't financially require that, and it doesn't have to be dictated in the documents that you do. The other thing you can do that's going to be a little bit more expensive, but might apply better here, is to just form a family foundation.
Okay.
And then qualify the family foundation as a 501c. Now, in order to give from a family foundation to an individual, you are going to have a lot of documentation, or you're going to lose your tax deduction, your tax deductible status on that.
Okay.
And so you've got to have a real program and a real series of documentation. This can't be just you walking around handing out money like Santa Claus.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. And so the foundation is a little bit more restrictive in some ways, and in some ways it's going to help you other. So I think you need to look at the different ways you can do this. The nonprofit might be the cleanest. But again, a nonprofit, you're going to have to, operate it. There are operating procedures to doing that in order to maintain the nonprofit status on it. I have both. I have a nonprofit organization here within the walls of our company called Share It, that is a 501c3 and its purpose is to get Financial Peace University into places like domestic violence shelters and prisons and other places, where there's just no funding. And, some people donate to that, but it's mostly funded by us. And then our family has formed a family foundation. So we've got some experience with both. And I recommend you look into both and then make the decision which direction to go with this. I will tell you that this is born out of your pain, and it is born out of your heart to help other kids that are facing what your child has gone through, and that is as good a place to birth a charitable movement as anything. That's awesome. The first thing that's going to strike you as you get into this is that there are business aspects to this that are going to feel cold, because you're doing this all purely on heart. And you should do it purely on heart. I don't want you to not do that, but I'm going to go ahead and warn you that in order to do this properly, there's some steps and some paperwork and some things you're going to have to do every year that's more than just you giving your money away. Now, you can give your money away, but there's just no tax deduction for that and no structure to it. So get with an estate planning attorney, one that would do something like a will, and have them coach you on the best way to do your 501c3, which is your nonprofit status with the IRS, whether you do that through a corporation or whether you do it through a family foundation or a foundation of some kind. If you're giving to 501s only, you're not giving to individuals, you can use what's called donor-advised funds. But I don't think that applies here, because I think you've got, you want to buy computer games for that kid that doesn't have any and that's suffering right now. And that's not a 501c3 that you're giving to them. That's an individual. So you've got to have a detailed outlined program for that, for you to maintain your tax status on that. Otherwise, you're going to just pay taxes on all that money. And it's worth the trouble to not pay taxes on it, to create the tax deduction. It really is, while you're doing a good thing. That's awesome, man. I'm so sorry for your loss. And I'm so happy that out of that loss that you're going to choose to help a whole bunch of folks. That's pretty incredible. Wow. That's how you start the show this hour. You don't get those kinds of financial questions on other places. This is the Dave Ramsey Show, though.